What is up? And that was an epic fail. Hey guys, Take on New York Sports, episode number 9, recording on December 14th. Supposed to be a live episode. I know, I apologize. Software malfunctions. I don't know. But I got it all figured out. So we're going to shoot for next Monday as a live episode. All right? Twitter, Instagram, Take on NY Sports. You guys know the deal. We're also on Tap Tapes, Pandora. Basically, anywhere you get your music, podcasts, we're there. We're going to start today's episode with the disaster of a football weekend here in New York. Minus the Buffalo Bills, who beat the Steelers. Good for them. They look like a real football team. The Giants, 26-7 loss, and it didn't even feel that close, except for all the defensive stops. The defense, will start there. They played well, considering they had many stops of the Cardinals in the red zone, and they held them to 3 points. Or they even had that one stoppage where I think it was Bradbury who broke up the pass in the end zone. They were just tired. They were out there way too much. You saw that they have that long series, and then what was it? They gave up the touchdown, I think, or it was a field goal, and the Giants got the kickoff, and the guy did like a drop kick or whatever, and forced a fumble, and boom, the defense is right back out there. They were just overworked, tired, and you can't blame them. They did what they could. The offense, I don't know. They just weren't. They were a no-show, a complete no-show. Daniel Jones looked like he should not have played. I think he's a very. I don't want to call him good yet. We'll just say he's average. He's an average quarterback, and when he doesn't have his legs, that's a huge part of his game, as we know. Not that there's so much of set designed running plays for him, but when that pocket collapses, which it did a ton, I think he was sacked 6 times or something last game, he's able to, move around, make a little something out of nothing. And he had no rushing attempts at all. So that right there goes to tell you the hamstring is an issue. Now, hopefully another week of rest, he's okay against Cleveland. But I don't know. It looked really bad. I mean, Goldman, what was he? 12 rushes, 57 yards. I mean, he broke 1 or 2 nice runs, but overall, just nothing. Alfred Morris did nothing. Dropped passes, tipped passes. Offensive line was like Swiss cheese. And the Cardinals, they capitalized on a couple plays. And that's all you can do. The really bad thing is that everybody else in the NFC East won. So you had the Eagles with their surprise win against New Orleans. The Cowboys beat the Bengals. Not really a huge surprise there. And Washington went into San Francisco and won. So now Washington up by a game. Sorry, guys, a little technical difficulties. But Washington now with a 1-game lead, and I think they play. I know the last game is against the Eagles, and then they play. I think it's the Panthers. That's who it is. Yes. Okay. The Panthers. So, they got, you figure they beat the Panthers with the way they've been playing, but I don't know. It's just the Giants had this. They had, destiny in their hands, and they couldn't do it. And you look now ahead, going to Cleveland, it's going to be a tough game, real tough game. And you finish with Baltimore and Dallas. You just hope that, we could find that Seattle magic and beat Cleveland, because we had the division, and now, it's slowly but surely slipping away. The Jets, on the other hand, well, they had a 3-0 lead. That was nice. And then Seattle said, we're going to score 40 unanswered points. It's the same thing every week with the Jets. Sam Darnold. Now, you can't kill him completely. He has no talent around him. He has no coaching around him. And you feel for him because he's just a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. And at the same time, he's not exactly doing, he's not showing us why, we should keep him around New York. And again, not completely his fault. He has nothing around him, but he's got to make less mistakes. I mean, that's the simple way to put it. It was just, I took Seattle laying 14 points. I figured it would be a pretty bad score, lopsided score. I didn't think 40-3, but the Jets just playing out the strings. 3 more games to go. You see what Sam is. Regardless, you're going to draft, you're going to draft a kid out of Clemson. And, I don't know. You hope for Sam's sake he gets another shot somewhere. Mark Sanchez had all his glory with the Jets, the 2 back-to-back AFC Championship games, and then a little bit of a journeyman, and then kind of faded away. And, you hope for Sam's sake that he doesn't go down that same path. NHL, nothing really new going on there. January 13th, still the target date. I think they're saying the 27th. They want to open training camps for the teams that did not make the playoffs and did not make the qualifying round. And then I think January 1st, January 3rd, something like that, is when the training camp will open up for everybody else. So you hope that stays the course and we get some hockey in a month. NBA, that has officially started preseason. Knicks with 2 games, both in Detroit. One good, one not so good. Obi Toppin looked like a player in the first game. He really did. And then the second game, regressed. But you don't put too much stock in it, and you just want these kids to learn this year. Like we said from the beginning. The main thing I should say, that excites me about the Knicks is we finally have, what I'm going to say, a real coach. Tom Thibodeau is a real professional NBA coach. No offense to Derek Fisher, Jeff Hornacek. Okay. But Tom Thibodeau is a real head coach. He's going to teach these kids. He's also going to hold them accountable, though. And that's something we need. We need that structure, and we need a leader. And I'm very happy that Thibodeau is coaching. The Nets, they played 1 game on Sunday. They beat Washington. Durant, good for him. His first game back since the injury. Kyrie, $25,000 fine. He doesn't want to talk to the media. He's really annoying. He's a good player, real good player, but there's just always something with him. Some sort of drama. And, I hope he doesn't I hope that doesn't rub off on the talented young players that the Nets have. because they got a really good core of players, young core of players. And if Kyrie's the poison, the Nets go nowhere and do nothing. I don't care if you got Durant or not. So, we'll see how that plays out. Baseball, a couple Mets notes. They get their GM, and they also get their catcher. The GM, Jared Porter, he's a Theo Epstein heir, I should say. And, Red Sox, Cubs, started as an intern. Bright guy, from what everybody says. He's coming over from the Diamondbacks. He was the GM there. And, Sandy Alderson thinks he's got the right guy. He's got money to spend. So we'll see how that hiring goes. But they get their catcher. And it's not JT Realmuto. And I think they made a smart signing here. You get McCann, 4 years, $40 million. Yes, he's not the player that Realmuto is, but you got him a lot less years. Well, maybe not a lot less years. Maybe I think Realmuto gets 6-year deal, something like that. But a lot less money. And now they can continue their, pursuit of George Springer, maybe Trevor Bauer. But, they have a few holes to plug, and I think they made a real good signing with McCann. So that's where the Mets are. Cleveland Indians are going to soon not be the Cleveland Indians. They are going to change their name. I think they're going to stick with it this season. They don't want to be like the Washington football team. They don't want to be the Cleveland baseball team. So I think once they work everything out with the new name, that'll be for next season. And then we have the Yankees, and the DJ LeMahieu saga continues. Okay. I love DJ LeMahieu, straight up. But it's going to be really hard to give him a 5-year deal. And that's where him and his agent are right now. It's the little game of cat and mouse. Yankees want 3, he wants 5. Now, it's been reported that the Yankees have offered him 4 years, $84 million. So, $21 million a year. I think that it's smart in a way of what the Yankees are doing to an extent. You don't want to push it too far. But they also don't want to bid against themselves. We know this team's interested, okay? Maybe the Dodgers, Angels, Mets, bunch of teams, Toronto. But if nobody's willing to go the 5 years and everybody's on par with that 4-year offer, he's going to come back to the Yankees. Why should the Yankees have to give him that 5th year? Now, if he goes to, another team and they say, yeah, we're going to give you, we're going to offer you 5 years, $100 million, whatever it is, then it's up to Cashman and Hal to say, do we bite the bullet and give him the 5th year? Because if he gets a 5-year offer, you can't blame the guy for going. He said publicly he wants to be a Yankee. He loves New York, wants to play for the Yankees, and we want him too. So we just kind of, and don't get too worried where nothing happens for a while. You know how the MLB offseason is. It's like it moves at a snail's pace. And this year is going to be even worse with the pandemic, the shortened season we just had, the loss of revenue, with no fans. And we don't even know if come April, when the season starts, if there's going to be fans. We look like we're getting on track, at least, partial fans in the stands. But it's very tough to just go out there and throw $100 million, on a 32-year-old player, as great as he is. So I get the game they're playing, but it can't come back and bite us in the ass. It just can't. One way or another, we're going to have to fill the void. If we lose LeMahieu, that means we give up prospects, trade for Lindor, or we wait for him to become a free agent at the end of the year. And then what? Who fills in for him? We're not going to put Tyro Estrada, Tyler Wade at second base. We can't lose that production and not replace it. And, down the road, Aaron Judge, going to be a free agent. I know he's going to be 30, but you're going to let him walk. You're going to have to give him a big contract. Gary Sanchez, does he have a bounce back year? Does he have, does he figure it out defensively? If that's the case, you're going to want to pay him too. Gleyber Torres, I know he's a couple years away still, but Gio Urshela, everything we do now it's got a chain reaction. So we have to, at the same time of a win now, we have to look forward. Because in a couple years, we got big name players as well that are going to need to get paid. And you can't pay everybody. You can't. That's why we have this win now mentality, which we usually always do. But with Cole, with Stanton, that's $65 million right there. It just, the Stanton contract's the big one, but that hurts. Cole's worth every penny. I mean, at least so far. So again, those are the numbers you have to work with. You have to do the best you can. All right, guys, I'm going to record episode 10 at the end of the week, football picks, all that sort of stuff. And then Monday, we're going to shoot for the live episode. So everybody get ready, download the Podbean app, follow the show, and you'll get the invite to join. You could live chat, call into the show. Just side note, I think you have to have headphones, or earbuds or whatever for your phone. But yeah, follow me on Twitter, Take on NY Sports, Instagram, Take on NY Sports, email, takeonnysports@gmail.com, and the website, takeonnysports.com. Until Friday, guys, be well.